The Bucs are getting ready to take on the Saints this weekend, and as much as people want to talk about how the Saints have really been decimated by injuries, their secondary has had a lot of injuries, and then of course this week Mark Ingram being placed on IR, also talk of Brandon Cooks possibly not playing. Well, the Bucs have also had injuries as well, and particularly on defense with their front seven. Gerald McCoy, while he was practicing this week, he missed this past week with a hand injury, and he was practicing with a cast on his hand. And considering the amount of use of hands that defensive linemen have, you don't know how effective he's going to be there. And then Ja'Quie Smith has already been ruled out of the game, and he missed last week too. But if you go back and you look at that first Bucs-Saints game of the season, you can see why Drew Brees was having such a difficult time. And it was because Ja'Quie Smith was routinely collapsing that pocket. And he also put a couple vicious hits on him too, so not having him definitely hurts. George Johnson, you don't know if you're going to have him either. And so if you're counting on a guy like William Golston, well, you'd like for him to be healthy, but earlier this week, he was in the NFL's concussion protocol. Yes, I'm serious. He had 2 sacks this past week, so really stepped up in the absence of some of those pass rushers, but is he 100% healthy? You just don't know. Henry Melton stepped in for McCoy this past week and performed admirably, but can he do it 2 weeks in a row if McCoy's not able to go? Either way, I expect him to probably get a significant workload because they do like to rotate those guys anyway. So, stepping back now to the linebacker spot, Lavonte David. He had an ankle injury this week, suffered an ankle injury, and actually missed a day of practice. He was limited out there today, but how effective is he going to be? Is he even going to play? Probably going to be out there playing, but is he going to be the same sideline to sideline type player? Is he going to be the same guy that can effectively rush the passer, which they're doing? They are blitzing him. You just don't know. And then also, too, and you knew this was coming, Quan Alexander serving his 4-game suspension. So in steps Bruce Carter. Bruce Carter hasn't started a game all season long, and he's expected to wear that helmet, that headset, and make all those calls on defense like a linebacker does. He's the quarterback of the defense, and so really curious to see mentally how quick he can be in that spot. It's going to be really tough to replace a guy with the physical attributes of Quan Alexander. I mean, this guy has just been an absolute takeaway machine, and you really saw that later on in the season. I know he's got the 2 forced fumbles. He's also got 2 interceptions as well. He's got 9 pass breakups, 3 sacks. This guy is just such a dynamic player. That's going to be the toughest shoes to fill. And then anytime you go up against a quarterback like Drew Brees, and I know the Bucs faced an injured Brees the last time, and that was Ja'Quie Smith's doing more than likely, but you just got to wonder, is this defense going to be able to stop him? Anytime you face a guy like that, he gets rid of the ball so quickly, you've really got to be on your toes. So this entire defense really has to step it up. And I'll tell you what, Lovie Smith really summed it up best when he said, the other day he looked over at his team and he realized that none of the guys that started up front in this vaunted pass rush that he's got, well, none of the guys that started in week 1 were actually out there the other day. So that just goes to show you all the injuries that they've had. And a lot of teams have injuries. But, it's one of those things, though, where it's just like the teams that have the depth, those are the teams that go on to win games. So this will be a true test of depth here. But what a great way to finish out the season if the Bucs can sweep the Falcons like they did this past week and also sweep the Saints, too. At that point in time, it almost doesn't even matter if you make the playoffs because you can see just how bright the future is. With Sports Talk Florida, I'm Jenna Lane.